Hey, PJ here. Today I want to talk to you about full muscle fatigue, otherwise known as muscle failure training. Whatever you call it, it's about going to complete muscle fatigue, so there's nothing left, and then going a little bit further. When your muscles can't do it, only then do they see a need to change. If they can do it, then they say, well, I'm fine as is. I can do that, so I'm going to stay the way I am. There's no need to change. If you push the muscles to the point where you can't do it, you can get to complete muscle failure, complete muscle recruitment, you can get to complete muscle fatigue and optimize your results. Have you ever noticed people working out in traditional gyms and never getting anywhere, never looking any different, cruising along in the elliptical, the treadmill, or whatever cardio equipment they're using, maybe even reading a book while they're doing it? And when they do weights, they do a certain number of reps, they get to a number and they stop at that number instead of pushing through, ignoring numbers, and going to complete muscle recruitment. See, here's how it works. The slow twitch muscle fibers always fatigue out first. They're the first to go. So no matter what you're doing, whether it's fast motion, slow motion, whatever it is, you're fatiguing the slow twitch muscle fibers. When they're all done and they're all fatigued, the fast twitch have to step forward. And then you get a chance to fatigue the fast twitch muscle fibers. When you're fatiguing both of these muscle fibers, you're getting a well-rounded fitness that applies to real life instead of just a specific fitness like endurance for marathons or powerlifting or bodybuilding, strength only. This well-rounded fitness that you get from going to complete muscle fatigue also produces the look that most people want. Because most people don't want to look like a marathon runner or a bodybuilder. They want to look like a fit person, a natural, healthy, fit person. The reason that works so well is we're fatiguing the slow twitch energy system, the marathon runners. So we're getting all that. We're fatiguing the strength system, the power lifters. We're getting all that. And because we're combining both groups, we end up looking somewhere in the middle, like a fit person, a well-rounded fit person. But the fatigue is paramount. The reps leading up to the wall, hitting the wall, where you got complete muscle fatigue, are basically just the rehearsal reps, getting ready for the show. The wall, when you hit the wall, is the show. Then we go beyond that, and we continue with that show to get full results. Now, I mentioned that when you're doing this type of training, you get to the point where you can't do it. So the main protocol is going to get you to the point where you hit that wall, where you're stuck. You just can't go on anymore. Then you've got some splinter techniques to do. And with these splinter techniques, we're making sure we go beyond complete muscle fatigue. Now, the reason we want to go beyond is because you're not actually at true fatigue yet with this first stage at this point. You just think you are. You're at the first stage of fatigue, which is mental fatigue. So when you go past that to the next phase of muscle fatigue, which is called concentric failure, then we're actually getting into the muscle fiber failure. Concentric failure is when you fail pushing out. So it's the lifting phase. When you hit that point, you're sending messages to some muscle fibers, lots of muscle fibers, that they're not adequate. They need to change. They're not strong enough. They need to get stronger. They need to get fitter. Concentric fatigue is actually where you start to get results. With mental fatigue, you're not going to get much results. And that's where most people stop. They go to the gym, they go until they think they can't do it anymore, or it starts to get hard, or it starts to get uncomfortable, or they think they've done a really good job, and then they stop. Well, that's why they're not getting anywhere. You go past that to concentric fatigue, that point, then you're there. Concentric fatigue is where results start. But how about some more results? Well, there's another phase beyond that. It's isometric fatigue. You can hold in place more weight than you can push out. So holding is isometric. So you're stronger than the push phase, which is concentric. So we take you past concentric fatigue, and then we go to isometric fatigue. So you can't even hold it there any longer. When you hit isometric fatigue, you have fatigued that many more muscle fibers. So it's a step up from concentric fatigue. The next phase of fatigue is eccentric muscle fatigue. So in the eccentric phase of the contraction, where you can't even resist coming down, you're basically just jelly. There's nothing left. At that point, you've taken it up even another level, and you fatigued out even more muscle fibers. Now, you're going to get better at fatigue as you do this, and pushing yourself to that point. And as you do, you're going to move through these phases, and that's what this workout is all about. In the beginning, it might feel frustrating that you can't do it. Just remember, your trainer will decide when you can't do it or not. The trainer is actually the judge of that, and your trainer is actually a better judge of that than you are. If they get you to that point, they've succeeded, you've won, you've sent that message home to the muscle fibers, they're getting it loud and clear, and they're going to change as fast as possible. And that's what the xgym is all about. That's the result zone. I'm not saying it's comfortable, I'm just saying that's where results come from. If you want results, rapid results, in minimum time, that's what you'll learn to strive for.